The king wins before going to battle. Charles's mocking invitation to Harry and Meghan turns Sussex into a farce. Hello and a very warm welcome back to Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel. So an official has come out to say that invitations to the Westminster Abbey service are going to be sent out in the next couple of weeks, and that Harry and Meghan are currently on the 2,000 plus strong list. But the staff member also clarifies that this invitation means that King Charles is certainly winning, and Harry and Meghan are probably going to be the losers. King Charles decided to be the bigger person in this mess and be inclusive to the two of them. He doesn't want to engage in any petty score settling. While that may be disappointing news to some people who don't like Meghan and Harry, who believe that maybe Harry should have a public beating and the king should be the one to do it, but anyway, the best beating would be the media totally ignoring them at the event. I'm afraid, though, that is never going to happen. Now, if Harry ends up not coming, then he will be the one to look petty and vindictive, and he'll probably need to launch another diatribe of accusations and insinuations to try to validate the fact that he didn't come. It certainly would not be good for Harry's reputation, and the few fans he has left are going to cling to the idea that Harry and Meghan were racially abused by the family, and the royal family are evil. The sick thing about it is, thanks to his war against his own family, Harry is keeping some semblance of royal connections. But I suspect snubbing the coronation would be the straw that broke a camel's back. Sponsors, supporters, sympathizers, they can no longer convince themselves that Harry really is this prince in purgatory if he decides to decline the invitation. And it wouldn't only be his father that he would be snubbing. If Harry refuses to acknowledge His Majesty Charles III by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of his other realms and territories, King, Head of the Commonwealth, Defender of the Faith, then that's about 1/3 of the world's entire population that is going to end up being snubbed. See, Charles is also the de facto king of Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Antigua, Jamaica, Bahamas, Belize, Grenada, St. Christopher and Nevis, Tuvalu, Solomon Islands, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, and also Papua New Guinea. So let's look at it another way. If they had been invited to the inauguration of Joe Biden, would Harry claim that he was busy doing something else, or would Meghan try to insist on everybody getting paid parental leave before she could make a decision? Even without royal titles, genetics dictates that Harry is still King Charles's son. And what kind of child is going to make this occasion all about themselves? I mean, this is the biggest day of his father's life. I'll tell you who, somebody with an overblown ego and a ridiculous sense of entitlement. Now, if the royal family sticks to their guns and does not issue any public apology before the coronation and Harry ends up going, then according to him, Meghan, and also all those crazy sugars, Harry has betrayed his principles. See, they do not see shades of gray. All of them think in black and white. And just like hardline dislikers want to puppet the king to destroy Meghan and Harry, the sugars puppet Meghan and Harry and want them to destroy the racist monarchy. And the fact is, the most rabid of the Sussex sugars are actually not fans of Harry at the end of the day. They worship Meghan Markle. They see her as this abused biracial goddess, so she has to get an apology from the royal family. Meghan Markle is their icon for the woke movement. Now, sugars are not going to really understand if Meghan shows up to the coronation. It'll be kind of like the way that they did not understand when Harry said that his family was not racist after all. See, if you want to get in bed with an enemy, that comes with a hefty price tag. I know Meghan believes those sugars are going to support her no matter what, but I don't think so. I think they would want nothing to do with her. They'll find some new icon. Meghan would be exposed then for exactly what she is, a hypocrite. Now, as for the question of are they going to come and cause trouble, well, they're just two people. Unless they show up wearing suicide vests, I don't think they're going to cause any trouble that cannot be managed. Maybe they're going to cause some annoyance, some ill feelings, but still, it's not going to be that big of a deal. The thing is, Meghan and Harry don't really have any power, and I don't think Harry would be walking into the room where Charles is getting ready, demanding to know exactly why he and Meghan are seated 3 rows back behind 6 candles, and if they don't get better seats, what, he's gonna leave? I mean, we saw what happened when they attended the late Queen's funeral. Did they act up on that occasion? No, they didn't. They were on their best behavior because at the end of the day, they're all bark and no bite. Meghan was informed that she was not welcome to join the family at Balmoral, and William headed them off at the pass on the walkabout. Harry was allowed to wear his uniform, and they did their hand-holding thing at Westminster Hall. They were invited, uninvited, disinvited, who knows, never invited to that state reception and the eve of the funeral, and that was the end of it. We saw that one tear that Meghan managed to squeeze out of her left eye, and a 6-foot candle was put in front of her. There's no reason to think the coronation is going to be any different. I don't think Meghan's going to be doing cartwheels down the aisle of Westminster Abbey, and I don't think Harry's going to start juggling. Even though they talk a lot of talk, they're really pretty boring. If the papers are filled with their boring, lackluster behavior the next day, well, then that's on them. They really just need to stop reporting on those two so much because they're quite dull. Now, of course, international affairs are not family matters, but the thing about it is, King Charles is more than just a father, he's a king. So as a king, he really does have a responsibility to show rejection of awful public behaviors that abuse his country. So alright, if he wants to forgive his son, let him do that privately. As a king, I'm afraid he cannot do that. Now, I think the problem is going to be about security. The media might have moved on to Harry's loss of virginity and the new it girl, the surprisingly lovely Sasha Walpole. But the real Taliban and who knows what other extremists out there did not. Let's remember, this is the same group of people who destroyed some giant statues that were thousands of years old just because these statues offended their sensibilities. So we know already what they're capable of doing when somebody offends them. These are not a group of people who you want publicly commenting negatively on your book. And yeah, this is all Harry's fault. But anyway, Harry and Meghan, if she decides to come, and everybody who is near them now needs security, and not because Meghan is the reincarnation of Diana, but because Harry was so thoughtless when he pissed off some violent extremists. Personally, my opinion is that Meghan was convinced that she was getting into some kind of combination of Hollywood celebrity and the Princess Diaries, and Harry, it looks like, has just been showcasing what a horrible king he would have been. But Harry is still the son of the king, and the king is a good man. But I just can't get over Harry's complete disregard for the collateral damage of shooting his mouth off. He feels like the media has a duty of care towards him and Meghan, but it doesn't seem like he sees that he has a duty of care towards his family, the armed forces, and really everybody in the UK. But anyway, the decision about whether or not to avenge Harry's boasting is, at the end of the day, the Taliban's decision alone. So if there's some suicide bomber or sniper, then that will be the murderer. But still, Harry will forever be considered the agent provocateur. The coronation, much like the Jubilee or the funeral for the late Queen, is a great incentive and opportunity for any jihadists, any anti-monarchists, any extremist out there. And Harry's presence may very well raise the likelihood from possible to probable. But does it really change security measures at events of that magnitude? It's a good question. Maybe they should be forced to walk in any procession 10 meters away from everybody else, so that way at least the sniper would have a good clean shot. Or perhaps they should have to travel straight to and from the Abbey in an armored vehicle. That would be a pretty good idea. I'm afraid this is not going to end anytime soon, unless legal depositions or investigations or whatever bring matters to a head before May rolls around. It would be pretty interesting though, wouldn't it, if the depositions were scheduled during the same time as the coronation. Let's get ready, folks, buckle up, because it could be a very interesting few months to come. And what do you think? Please join the conversation and share your opinions on Meghan and Prince Harry. We really value your opinions and we welcome your thoughts. And please don't forget to subscribe to Kate Middleton and the Queen News channel for all things related to the royal family. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a lovely week and we'll be back to see you in the next episodes.